Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Randy Weinglass, a licensed marriage and family therapist here in the state of California and also Florida here at Man Up Mental Health. My intention behind creating this channel is to empower young men, all men, towards self-love, emotional regulation, self-awareness, personal development, and their journey to embracing mental health, and also giving them some key insights and behind-the-scenes work that I do in session around various topics. Today, our topic is going to be, why do some men struggle with lust? Some insights from the Shannon Sharpe story. I'm not sure if you're caught up, but Shannon Sharpe, a famous YouTube host, has been in the media quite these days in regards to some incidents, explicit incidents involving young women. I'm not here to attack anybody through this page or this channel. I don't have any evidence in regards to this case. This is just commentary and also echoing some of the work that I do in regards to also helping other men who may struggle with lust issues. So let's kind of start off with defining lust. So lust is a combination of different things. You see the word a lot in the Bible in regards to this fleshly urge or desire to act on. A lot of times it could be either sexual gratification. Primarily, these are needs driven by our bodies biologically that can counter some of our principles and values. Sex isn't the only category that lust can be defined under. It doesn't have to necessarily be a physical act, according to my understanding. Sometimes, we can lust after things that don't belong to us. But generally, for the sake of this video, it's around a degree of sexual gratification, pleasure. And there have been plenty of figures in the Bible who had to conquer at some point in time lust, or who was overwhelmed by this concept. And from King David to Solomon, the list goes on and on. Lust has been a theme in our community as men that we've been battling and struggling with. So I want to kind of explore, why do some men struggle with lust? So from my experiences, I see lust issues come up a lot in my counseling work and relationships, marriages, different men struggling with, just staying committed to one person due to just having really high sex drives, or due to these ideas in society that masculinity means sleeping with a whole bunch of women, and a lot of times, again, it goes back to some earlier videos, be the creator of your own narrative. In my personal opinion and professional opinion, I believe lust becomes an issue when individuals have a difficulty not knowing or aligning their behaviors with their core value system. If your value is faith, self-discipline, self-respect, then these feelings of lust, these urges, right, to act off an impulse tend to be a lot more stronger when we're not fully committed to our principles. This is why it's so important as men, when we're raising up our children and bringing up children in this world, to really highlight the value of being a man of values and living according to his ethics and his principles. The research says in ACT therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy, when we over-identify with our thoughts or our feelings, we tend to get removed from our value system. So if your value is self-discipline, faith, and you're having the urge or a thought to, cheat on your spouse or to look at this other woman sexually, then 9 times out of 10, if you identify with that urge or that thought, you're going to violate that value system. So it's about the long-term gain through your values and being consistent with your principles versus immediate gratification. There are terms out there called reward sensitivity, as an example, where sometimes young men, and I know this is also not just a men issue, it's also could be a issue with women as well, but for the sake of this particular video, maybe men who had a scarcity around feeling rewarded, not feeling like they received a lot of, prize or acknowledgement around things that they've done that went well, can lead into like this sense of a lack around feeling a sense of reward. And when that reward sensitivity kicks in, they might see a woman out in public, online, on social media, and they can be in a relationship or be single, but that urge or that impulse or that desire of the flesh of our body is going to kick in and overwhelm them, when again, core values haven't been emphasized, in the home, and the importance of making decisions aligned with your value system. At any given moment, you're making a decision driven by either your feelings or your thoughts, which are very much driven by the moment. They're birthed out of the current circumstances and echoes of our past experiences, or you're making choices aligned with your value system, which take into account the long-term benefits. Research says making decisions and choices aligned with values tend to reduce anxiety and also regret, being that you're making a long-term choice. So lust is very much a short game. It's a short game. And, I'm going to include in here a little bit of some news stories around issues with lust, just to show you how prevalent this is. Let's check them out.
Woman filed a $50 million lawsuit against him on April 20th, claiming that he raped her twice in October of 2024 and once in January of 2025. And the sexual assault allegations are incredibly disturbing, that this purportedly happened while she was crying and begging for him to stop. This unidentified Jane Doe also claims that he recorded her without her consent, that he shared those videos with others, that he even threatened her. And I'm going to get into a new response that we haven't even talked about yet.
So there's, a lot of lust instances that are going on in our society. And a lot of our men have to ask ourselves, lust versus self-control, right? Lust, the urgency of the moment, right? The fulfilling of our desires, our gratifications at the expense of our value system, or self-control, that decision that is birthed from commitment to our value of respect for ourselves, and respect for others. So lust is a simple, conflict. Is whether the urge of the moment, the impulse of the moment, the violation of our value system, the short, right? Or looking at things long-term, commitment to our ethics, commitment to our value system. That's what's important. So we'll be speaking more on this topic. Just kind of want to open the space for conversation. Please leave comments in the comment section, young men, and even women. Let me know some of your struggles with lust. Has this been an issue that's been coming up for you? It's very common. Nothing to be ashamed of. We all have, desires and needs and things of that sort. It's just, do these desires and needs align with my value system, or are they going to produce a behavior that's aligned with my value system? I'm Randy Wineglass, LMFT in California and Florida. Like, share, subscribe. Hope you were able to get some value out of this video. Until next time, peace.